All right, ladies and gentlemen, perfect timing because it looks like we are back into the third place match between the Bare Naked Laners and Team Single Agent. My name is Seamus Anderson, and I am joined by none other than Austin Dragneel Myers as we get into this second game of the best of three. We just saw a fantastic game one off of the back of Crimson Cat's Twitch. Now, can he replicate that success once again?
Yeah, we'll have to see. Honestly, I would think maybe banning Janna at this point might be a good decision. She just offered way too much protection for the Twitch, and you can ban out the Twitch, but I think the problem really came down to just the utility and defense that Janna was able to give his her AD carry in those team fights and the laning phase.
See what the bans are from BNL as well as TSA. Looks like TSA is actually going to ban out Diana again. Wow, they must really respect Mr. Cool Pants' Diana.
Yeah, he's really proficient on that champion. It's definitely a comfort pick. Lissandra did well for him, but I don't think it produced the results that they wanted. Did well early, but just a little too squishy and a little too hard engage as that AP carry. Maybe want to fall back on something that may be a little, little less all-in-y, but we'll have to see as they do ban the Twitch. Interesting.
Yeah.
We'll have to see what they decide to pick in rebuttal to that ban.
Has been banned away. It looks like they're prioritizing really just the fact that Crimson Cat is so good on the champion. Do you expect them to ban Janna as well or no?
I don't think so. I think it came down to, do we want to ban the Twitch or the Janna? I personally probably would have banned the Janna just because if you ban the Janna, play something a little more aggressive like a Leona, Nautilus, or like a Thresh where you can really get onto the Twitch. I think Lucian was a fine pick into that, but we'll have to see. And actually ban Graves that they just played. Interesting.
Yeah, that is really interesting. Maybe they're picking that against
Maybe they just don't want to give it to Crimson Cat?
Who plays ADC Graves? He generally only favors hyper carries.
I mean, ADC Graves can be a hyper carry, at least in this meta, but
A little bit different than the traditional sense of the term, though.
well, yes.
I mean, he does a lot of damage. I don't know if that qualifies him as a hyper carry.
We'll have to see, but I'm really interested to see what they lock in first. Like, okay, Syndra being hovered over. That's a pretty strong mid laner, but Victor worked out pretty well for them last time. And Victor and Ari are kind of, even Twisted Fate can be like those champions that can kind of play into anything, play safe, and just really scale up. Or just going for the Fiora.
Ooh, interesting. So they're gonna lock in Fiora, and the Fiora wasn't particularly bad. You know, Empan had a lot of split push pressure, and also was able to get into the inhibitor turret of Bare Naked Laners. So he eventually didn't need to take the inhibitor turret, but he pushed it pretty far down. Looks like they want to prioritize that again.
And the Swain being hovered over. Okay,
I don't think it's. I'm pretty sure. Generally.
Yeah. That's what I was about to say. Exo Slayer's MMA is very strong on the Shen and hasn't done the rework yet, so it's not going to be wonky yet. But very strong, especially with Grasp of the Undying. He has just so much sustainability in lane, as well as just the overall, not necessarily upfront damage, but damage over time after he builds the Sunfire and gets all those key strikes on you. Hurts quite a bit, and it's definitely a comfort pick for him.
Yeah, that's very, very tanky champions for the top laner and support of the Bare Naked Laners. However, you said this might be worth banning in game number one, or excuse me, in game number two, but once again, Dimmer X is given Janna, and once again, Late September is given the Victor. So that's Victor, a champion who performed pretty well in the last game, and the number one Peel Machine. It's gonna be hard for the Bare Naked Laners to get onto Crimson Cat, no matter what AD carry he plays.
Or maybe they might not even need to play an AD carry as they start to hover over Zed. I'm not sure if that's real or not. It's a good idea because Zed is one of those champions that can get on you very easily. But it looks like they will go for the Lucian, a very good pairing with that Braum. able to get those stacks off quite quickly for the stun, and Energy Rush actually hovering over the Quinn, and at least from my knowledge, he's been very hit or miss on the Quinn as he's played it in the LCS. So we'll have to see. He does look like he's going to lock in the Elise in a much more... Oh, switchback to the Quinn.
So the Quinn is in.
He's going to try and Quinn it to win it, baby. We'll have to see. He does have a, habit of getting into a tunnel and, just kind of focusing on one person.
Yep.
But we'll have to see. Like, it's definitely a skilled champion, and he does have the knowledge and the ability to make it work. It'll just be his decision making that we'll have to keep a watch out for.
Yeah, Energy Rush. He's a very strong player. I think he ended last season as
just high diamonds or like Diamond 3 something.
Well,
like
I think
that.
he officially ended the preseason in Diamond 1. I'm not entirely sure. I think he at least peaked in Diamond 1. So he certainly knows how to play properly and aggressively in solo queue. It's just a matter of making sure his entire team is on the same page, because otherwise, if they aren't on the same page, and you specifically if you mess up as well, you put yourself in an awkward situation where you just end up trading kills, which is never something you want. Now, Volibear has been locked in, and literally this is exactly the same composition. Instead of a Twitch, it's now a Tristana. 4 members of Team Single Asians. Against this composition that BNL now have, how do you expect the game to go?
Honestly, I'm not sure. Again, I think they should have banned the Janna because...
I think I agree. I think it's actually a very big issue that they didn't ban it out.
Yeah, it was too much protection, too much peel in the laning phase. They do have a better option for it rather than the Poppy. They have the Braum, so he'll be able to stand in front and block a bunch of damage. Kind of provide that little zone control so Lucian can dash up and get in Tristana's face. However, I don't like that they banned the Graves, because Graves can at least be somewhat of a beefy AD carry jungle.
Correct.
And Quinn is a little risky. They're going to have to try and end it early if they try to go for this really all in kind of in your face comp. Syndra actually looking to be locked in. And that's very interesting because she's not very mobile at all, and we'll have a little easier time for the Volibear to get onto her.
Well, let's be entirely honest, Dragneel. We did not see mobility be an issue for the Twitch in the last game, so Syndra?
No, we did not.
Who knows?
And they do have the Shen, though, because, they might work out a nice little Shen delivery system. Just have Quinn go right into the heart of the team, have Shen ult, and follow up with a Braum.
Oh my goodness, that would be so perfect.
On paper, again, it looks good. They have a solid, rotation, kind of pick, fight kind of comp.
Yeah, it's definitely a objective rotation pick-based composition.
Yeah, it's again, like the last game, it's going to come down to execution, and we're going to have to hope we're going to have to watch this bottom lane because they didn't ban the Janna, and honestly, you agreed with me, is a big issue. So they switched up the support, and we'll have to see if maybe that was just, the thing they needed to do.
So we will see whether or not they can do all of the things that they need to do to come back, really, and push this series to a game number 3. But as we wind down the spectator delay, we're going to take a little bit of a break and let you guys listen to some music. Don't go anywhere, guys, because when we come back, it'll be game number 2 of this best of 3 to determine who will be the 3rd place of the fall 2015 UVA LCS split.
For now you can stay right here, we will play until somehow you can find a slightly different frame of mind. Right here in my arms, away from all harm, you'll be safe from all the flares, although I know you don't care. lift your head up to the sky. Take a deeper breath and give it time. You can walk the path among the lines with your shattered frame of mind. Or instead you could always stay. We can wait right here and play until somehow you can find a slightly better frame of mind. When they say you will fall, you can reach nothing at all. Hide your tracks beneath the rind of a different frame of mind. Is that what you heard? Broken words in the dirt, yelling up into the sun. Here we come, here we come. Here we come, here we come. Here we come, here we come. You can lift your head up to the sky. Take a deeper breath and give it time. You can walk the path among the lines with your shattered frame of mind. Or instead you could always stay. We can wait right here and play until somehow you can find a slightly better frame of mind.
Ladies and gentlemen, we have loaded onto the Summoner's Rift game number 2 between Bare Naked Laners and Team Single Asians. Start right now.
Yeah, the sides have been swapped, and new champions as well as some old ones we see on the Rift again. And we'll have to see if the right decisions were made for both teams. One team deciding to go a little different and mixed up with their champions, as the other team just kind of going with the same thing. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. Grouping up here in the middle of the river, and we'll have to see if anything happens. Level 1.
For those of you who might just be joining us, game number 1, we saw a fantastic performance by Crimson Cat on his Twitch, and really also giving credit to his team for peeling and protecting the Twitch as he hyper carried way to a pretty fast, approximately 30-minute finish and victory for TSA Single Asians. Now, the real questions are, can TSA find girlfriends? Can TSA find a 3rd place victory in the fall 2015 UVA LCS? You know what, Awesome Dragoneel? I think we might find out the answer to one of those questions in the next few hours.
Hopefully they can find both, but we'll have to see if Bare Naked Laners can get in the way of that. As laning phase is about to start, leashes will be given to their jungles, and I'm really interested to see how Mr. Coolmans does on Syndrome. He is a huge lane bully, already throwing spears into the Victor's face and just getting a lot of damage on. He will get the shield from his Q, although Thunderlord is going down on both sides and just really being aggressive in this early level 1.
So as the camera does go down to this bottom lane, it'll be very important to see how Crimson Cat, if at all he manages to find a lead in this lane, because they certainly weren't doing pretty well in the 2v2, but Speed was doing pretty bad in the 1v1. XX Slayers MMA, holy crap, he is taking a lot of harass from the Spiora.
Yeah, already having to pop his, as a stun lands on late September.
The Ignite is going to come down. Late September is going to be able to shield himself, doesn't need to use that barrier. But Mr. Coolpants is going pretty aggressive in this lane. Syndra, a champion who can definitely go a bit more all in before level 6 compared to Lissandra, so let's see if he can pick up the 1v1 first blood.
Yeah, definitely. Exo Slammer doing a good job of reacting to the vital point with this W shield, but again, he needs to try and keep the control of it and keeping it on his back like he has right now. Fiora is going to be able to push him in a little early and, bully him around, but Shen will have the ability to really deal with her as she becomes stronger and they both get their items going.
Yep. Definitely can deal with her for some time, up until I think the really later stages of the game. Fiora just becomes unbeatable in a 1v1, you know? That's why she's called like the Grand Duelist or whatever. She is very, very hard to deal with. And that's why she's not considered as strong in team fights. So if the Bare Naked Laners can find a good team fight where they can maybe lock Empan down, that might be effective. Speaking of locking Empan down, we do see a gank coming out from NRG Rush. Can he get onto Empan? The taunt will land a lot of damage, but Empan might be looking for the kill to Shen. Can he get first blood? Yes, he does. And the Energy Rush will retaliate, but that is still a 2v1 first blood in favor of the top laner for TSA. Now, Mr. Coolpants in late September dueling a very, very nice field of gravity there. That Mr. Coolpants can't find anything else. And that's traded, but still, first blood to TSA.
And a very nice use of the, I think it's the parry, is what her W is called, but making her invulnerable. Riposte. Yeah. That's what it is. Fancy fencing language, OP. Yeah. However, using that ability in time with a lot of the damage that was coming out from Quinn and Shen allowed her to survive just long enough to get that extra auto onto Shen and secure first blood for herself.
Yeah, also
very nice job.
The heal from the passive proc.
True.
Definitely a big factor there in that fight.
Another big factor, the wave is now actually pushing towards Fiora, and this could be very bad for XX Slayer's MMA because he's not in control of the wave anymore. Empan will be able to decide to fight whenever. She won't be able to really fight in the wave, but she can definitely keep the pressure on and keep it frozen there, so he's very vulnerable to ganks.
We'll see whether or not we will see more ganks in this top lane and from which jungler. Ooh, it's a little bit trading out of the bot lane. Explosive charge from Tristana does actually deal a decent amount of damage at early levels, folks. She's not simply a pure hyper carry. Her lane phase can certainly hurt.
Yeah, and again, the shield from Janna, especially with the wind speakers calling, the change to that mastery, whenever you are healed or shielded, you actually gain a flat amount of armor and MR whenever that happens. So not only is she getting a shield from Janna, she's also getting base stats and AD from one single ability.
Players,
really hard to deal with.
Players, speaking of hard to deal with, it's just not a fun matchup, man. Fiora up 20 minions, a nice taunt from Empan, but here comes late September. It's now XX Slayer's MMA caught in the 2v1. He is going to go down to Empan. That's his second kill from Fiora, but the gank in the ball lane. Exhaust on how to win. Flash away from the Scrubber Duck Q. Not going to be able to land a slow, and I doubt they're going to be able to get anything else, but it looks like they're not done just yet. Energy Rush is looking for a repeat gank. Dimmerex, no flash. The slow is going to land. Can they get the stun onto the Janna? I think they might be able to. That's going to be a lot of damage, but she still manages to get out.
They might be able to turn this even if Crimson Cat can get aggressive with that shield. Energy Rush actually is getting aggressive now.
Crimson Cat, he's got to be careful here. He still has that jump if he decides to use it. But he'll be okay for now.
Yeah, and Energy Rush is doing a lot of time ganking these lanes, trying to get them ahead. Only yielded one kill, but one in return on his gank. Meanwhile, Volibear has just been farming it up. It is now 10 CS ahead of the Quinn, as well as a full level, and Volibear will essentially scale out the Quinn in terms of, you know, use to the team. Quinn's going to offer a lot of damage, a lot of, you know, pick potential, but Volibear is just always going to be that solid tank who's going to flip and bite you.
Yeah, I do agree. I think the frontline capacity of Volibear and effectiveness in teamfights is better than a Quinn. However, the Bare Naked Laners do have a fairly strong, bulky frontline. They've got the Braum, and they have the Shen as well. And then the nice thing is, with Syndra, you're going to have a lot of long-range poke and damage.
Yeah.
So in pure teamfights, I'm not really sure who has the advantage. I'd still give it over to TSA simply because you have a hyper carry Tristana, and the later the game goes on, they simply do more damage. However, these fights will certainly be close.
Yeah, one thing to note, however, what we don't see that happened in the last game is that he hasn't, at least on the AD carry side, Team Soul Agent hasn't gotten that huge lead that they had almost, you know, 10 minutes into the game where Crimson Cat had almost 6 or 7 kills. He's actually been very quiet in that bot lane, although there has been a lot of trading. How to Win 101 has been keeping up for him tick for tack in every single CS.
Mm-hmm.
So that advantage isn't going to be as strong because of that. But we'll have to see, as both junglers are actually looking to position near the mid lane.
Might see 2v2 in the mid lane. Mr. Cool Pants has taken the ultimate from late September. That's a lot of damage coming down. But
Yeah.
Kings and both junglers knew that the enemy jungler was there, so no actual duel. And that is a ultimate down for late September, so technically the advantage there to BNL.
Yeah, it's kind of like those little fights in high school where one guy just pushes another one and says, oh, let's fight, and it's just like, no. That's okay, I'm
That's
good.
kind of like a dangerous high school. Speaking of dangerous, late September, you are in trouble. Forced to flash immediately, but Energy Rush and Mr. Cool Pants flashing in retaliation. The barrier's not going to be enough. Mr. Cool Pants goes down, and the kills are 2 for 2. Bare Naked Laners are not going to go down this game as easily as number 1.
Yeah, and Crimson Cat is actually being pressured here pretty hard in this lane. He will be continually getting the shields, but Strugberg up does have a very high health bar, is quite tanky, and Lucian is able to dish out quite a bit of damage as well as Quinn is making her way down to the bot lane. Maybe we'll see another gank. We'll have to see.
Energy Rush, he has that ultimate, so he's going to be very, very fast. And the nice thing about Quinn is that her speed only gets better as time goes on. Scrubberduck jumps in, he misses the Q, but it looks like they're still going to go. Crimson Cat is going to get stunned up, and the ultimate from Scrubberduck is not actually going to be able to intercept the jump. So Dimmer X now the focus, but the turret is still there, so Bare Naked Laner is not going to find anything as the ultimates were traded evenly.
Yeah, and again,
I almost thought for a moment there that the Braum ultimate canceled out the jump from the Tristana, and that could have been dangerous. But
I think it was just slightly askew. It should probably have done that. It is very good at disrupting abilities. As it looks like we might see a dive here. Dimmerx has no ult, and Crimson Cat might not have an ult.
Both of them do, however, have their flashes. No healer exhaust. They've got to know something is up. But they're still okay for now. Mr. Coolpants is going to get the knockback, but Yumi Big Mac's going to get the knock flip and kill. Yes, he is through the Shen ultimate. That Stand United not going to be enough to protect Bare Naked Laner's mid laner. However, Yumi does go down to retaliation. Now Energy Rush is going to take damage. He's going to get stuck by the gravity field, and now he's going to get turned on by Late September. Late September with the outplays, the level 8 Victor taking down the level 6 win. No problem at all there for the mid laner of TSA, and that's a 2-for-1 in favor of Team Single Asians, as the culling has just been used by How to Win 101, but that looked to be nothing more than a bit of poke.
Yeah. Unfortunately, the Vault actually knocking Quinn back into the gravity field to get the stun off, and although it was a 1-for-1 before, now a 2-for-1 because of that unfortunate just placement of the gravity field, or I guess the very mechanical, smart-wise use of that ability.
Well, technically Victor is a robot. He's looking for another kill in his bottom lane. Scrubberduck very quickly going to flash away from that, so he does not go down. However, that's another summoner down. TSA, they have a slight gold advantage. However, if we've seen anything from this game so far in this series, is that it can go either way. Energy Rush now looking for Empan. Can he land the slow? The slow will be landed. The proc from the Harrier does a lot of damage, and actually Empan's forced to flash away. Energy Rush is burning a couple of key summoners here and there, but he hasn't really been able to pick himself up any kills so far. I mean, other than he's 1-1-1 so far, but using his ultimate and actually ganking effectively, he hasn't really done much.
One thing to notice though, although Victor is doing pretty well, he isn't building a lot of damage early. He has the upgraded Hex score and looking to go for that Rylai's Crystal Scepter again for his first completed item. He is down quite a bit of CS, almost 40 minions worth, and that's a lot of gold that Mr. Coolpants is being able to invest in that Rod of Ages, which effectively will give basically the same stats as that Abyssal, or the Rylai's Crystal Scepter that Victor is building.
On the flip side, there's a huge minion disparity in the top lane. X6 Slayer's MMA is so far behind that there's no way he can fight Ampan here, and he's forced to flash away just by the ultimate from Fiora. So this is a pick that really Bare Naked Laners didn't set any priority on, and in the second game, it's still coming up very, very strong for TSA.
Yeah, Shen will have the added utility. He will keep getting tankier, has the ultimate available. And again, like Malphite, doesn't really need a lot of items.
Well, he doesn't want to lose lane that hard, though. That's still a
very
problem.
true.
Speaking of problems, how to win 1-1 Scrubber Duck. They didn't see Late September, but now they will. Late September hasn't taken any turret aggro because they're not even fighting near the turret. But Crimson Cat is going to go for the jump, and the members of BNL are here. Energy Rush is going to be taken down by Yumi Big Mac. Dimmerex sacrificing herself to try and save her team. However, now this has all gone wrong for TSA, as that was a dive under the turret that they did not want to fight in that fashion. 2 kills so far to BNL. They're looking for a third.
Players get to Victor.
Late September.
Find him. Find him. Oh, he's going to get away.
Late September might need a Victor skin that's now Camouflage Victor, because he got out there and no one remembered about him. They certainly remembered the Tristana, but Tristana would jump away, and that ended up being not as disastrous as it could have been. But still, 2 for 1 in favor of BNL.
Yeah, Fior's going to have a lot of time on this tower to get a lot of damage in. Crimson Cat's going to jump away, and it looks like they're going to try and force this middle turret, or at least push it out. Meanwhile, Lucian's going to have his own time to get onto this bottom tier 1, and that's a lot of minions down there that Tristana's going to miss out on.
Remember, doesn't get stunned by the stun from Open 17, Scatter of the Week. Strong enough, apparently. However, even with the 2-1-2 score this Victor has, he's down about 50 minions. And you talked about how Shen doesn't particularly need gold, but could you just remind me, do you think Victor needs gold?
I mean, as an AP carry, you might need a little bit more than the traditional tanky top lane.
You need a lot more. So we'll see whether or not Late September is able to come back in that gap that he's unfortunately found himself in. There are pings from either side around the Baron pit. Baron hasn't been started yet. Oh, Late September. He does have flash. Might need to use it. Might still go down anyway. The stun's just going to continuously knock him down. And that's going to be the shutdown onto Mr. Coolpants. They're looking for Yumi. Yumi will get stunned under turret, though. Can they pick up the kill? Yes, they can. That's a double kill to Mr. Coolpants 17. And the Baron Galaners up over 1,000 gold now, as they are looking for this mid lane turret. And Pan 2005 onto XX Slayer's MMA. Doesn't have much mana though, so he might not be able to pick up anything here. And Dimmerex certainly needs to be careful, as she is caught, and there's no real way she can protect this turret alone.
Yeah, and a really nice turn from Baron Galaners, really catching that Victor out, as they've been doing this entire, tournament, just being caught in the wrong place at the wrong time, a little too far in the mid lane. That's the danger of playing in that lane. Just there's not a lot of wiggle room, and if you're a Victor with that not a lot of mobility, you have the chance of getting caught out if you don't have the proper vision.
Product now working on clearing vision out, making sure that they can pick Dragon whenever they please. They have a fairly strong lead after 16 minutes of the game. 2,200 or 22,500 gold to about 25,000. 2,500 gold lead for BNL. Not a game-changing lead, however, this does mean that in the team fights, they will be able to dictate the pace of the game and will have a lot of pressure that they've been putting onto TSA. We will have to see how they respond and what exactly they do to make sure Crimson Cat or even Late September can get off in this game, because I think by this point in game number 1, Crimson Cat already had like 8 kills or something.
Yeah, Crimson Cat was a monster, already just doing whatever he wanted, had the Janna with the shield, just... It was an 80 carries dream scenario, as looks like the rotation from the mid lane actually towards the top lane to get this tower. A nice rotation by them to pick up some extra gold, but they might pay for it, as they might get caught out by the Quinn and the Syndra, and even the Shen too.
We'll see. Here comes Shen. Here comes Quinn. It looks like they're going to be looking for Fiora. Fiora is going to take a lot of damage, but they're going to turn it onto Rush. Rush forced to flash away, but Late September, the focus of Mr. Coolpants on the side of the camera. Rush might get out of this. No, he does go down. And Late September still manages to get out alive. Now, because Shen is here chasing Fiora alone, and Syndra hasn't caught up just yet, this is actually in favor of Team Single Asians. In the bot lane, meanwhile, Crimson Cat gets stunned up and knocked up, and maybe might go down here. The Culling's going to do a lot of damage, but the Janna, I think, was enough to protect him. And the turnaround is going to be one-man stun and one-man knock up. XX Slayers gets flipped. He's very, very tanky, though, but the passive from Yumi Big Mac is even tankier, as Dimmerex is stunned under the turret. Scrubber Duck still tanking damage, and How to Win 1-1 slowed by the Zephyr. I do not think that's going to be any more action. However, a very, very nice double kill pickup for TSA, completely outplaying the Bare Naked Laners solo lanes in jungle.
Yeah, and really nice rotations coming out from them, picking up that tower, getting the extra damage, and splitting off. And unfortunately, Energy Rush committing a little too hard on Fiora, and Fiora being 2-in-1 at that time, being able to turn it right back on her, being a squishy AD carry. It's a little rough, but we'll have to see. Mr. Coolpants is 5-1-1, has a lot of farm, actually the most farm in the game, and it's really going to be up to him to try and get the damage off where he needs and ult those priority targets, which unfortunately looks to be Fiora at this point because she's basically the strongest person on the enemy team. What he'll have to look out for is the riposte as a little trading comes back here in the mid lane.
Ooh, Mpan gonna get the stun to Mr. Coolpants, but he is gonna take a lot of damage as Rush has made his way over here as well. Mpan without flash. Can he get the proc up? No, the vitals unfortunately not enough to keep him alive, but Crimson Cat might be able to get a kill.
Just out of the auto range.
And a stand united just in case. I actually think that was necessary, but you know, Rush is like...
A little miscommunication. Oh, Victor's coming around.
I don't think there's much they can do here now.
Oh,
Victor's probably going to get caught up late September. Really greedy for the kill, though. But the gravity field means that the members of BNL aren't going to be able to close it. Oh, energy rush! Woo. He got very greedy there, but does make it out alive.
Can I get some clench in chat for that? Because that was way too close. Ooh. Quinn was taken down so low on that. Luckily, still survived, and the Dragon Call actually is now being made. They have to watch out. The Victor or the Volibear is still here.
Teleport coming in from Fiora, and the thing is, Quinn's not actually made their way just yet. Baronade Laners, you might not want to start the Scrubber Duck, taking a lot of damage. It's going to be a nice knockout. It's going to be a nice stun. Is it enough to let Energy Rush come in and clean up this fight? Members of BNL are so very low. Culling is going to push Yuumi Big back, and Energy Rush is all of a sudden in a 1v4, but he does pick up one kill so far, and now the BNL's the Baronade Laners are looking to re-engage this fight. They pick up 2 kills.
Godlike.
They're gonna look for more. Mr. Coolpants is godlike, like you said, and this was BNL perfectly playing their composition, kiting back, waiting for Energy Rush to come in and secure kills. They then re-engage the fight, they win the fight, and they pick up the first Baron of game number 2, 20 minutes in.
Yeah, and one thing that was really underrated in that fight was actually the direction of the taunt. Taunting up against the river actually gave them enough time for Quinn to be able to get down and flank, as well as for them to regroup. So a very nice job for XX Slayer's MMA to get that clutch position off, as it looks like a little shenanigans are going down here in bot lane as Quinn's waiting in this bush ready to strike.
Not entirely sure whether or not he's going to be successful in achieving anything here, because there's a giant freaking bear.
We can always hope.
No, man. Bear versus Bird. I think Bear will win. Bear versus Robot Man. I don't know if the Robot Man's going to win, especially not when there's a magical psychic chick there as well. That is another kill over to BNL. Mr. Coolpants 17 is now legendary on the Syndra. 9-1-1. And let's just take a look at how much gold this man has. His gold level? Yes, Austin Dragnell, you read that right. It's over 9,000.
OP.
OP indeed. He's over 3,000 against his rival mid laner and clear over 2,500 compared to anyone else in this game.
Yeah, and
wow, what a difference from game number 1.
Yeah, one thing that we haven't seen yet is XX Slayer's MMA has kind of been using his ultimates at awkward times, but if he can actually get the ultimate at a really good time and save some of his carries, that's just something that they haven't really seen yet, and you might actually see a little fight here in the mid lane as everyone's starting to group up.
Energy Rush. The question is, though, very tempting to jump onto the enemies as Quinn, but they're fairly squishy.
Quinn has to be careful.
Energy Rush. So situations like these, is it the Quinn catching the enemy, or is it the enemy catching the Quinn? I certainly think Yumi's going to get caught out, though. Yep. Mr. Coolpants is just so strong, and considering Yuumi Big Mac was at half HP, that means he gets shredded. But now Mpan 2005 looking to take down XX Slayer's MMA. Energy Rush will try and keep him alive, but it looks like Mpan forced to run away. Baronade Laners are just calling the shots all over the map. They almost have a 5,000 gold lead.
Mpan has to get out of there now because rotations are coming up. He's going to get 5-man dope.
Mpan, you are probably dead. Doesn't have flash available just yet. It's only a matter of who this kill is going to. It's going to go over to Rush, and that is going to be another kill, another turret. 7 to 14 in terms of kills, 1 to 3 in terms of turrets. However, a 6,000 gold lead in late September. He's going to get stunned up. He's might go down here. No, he hasn't gone down just yet. It looks like both members of TSA, the Baron Nick laners aren't going to be able to kill them. But
Yeah, while this fight seems to be breaking down just a little bit, we were talking earlier about how the Quinn pick was gonna fit into the comp, and he's been doing very well on it.
holy crap, Mr. Kupets is so strong. However, he is going to get shut down by late September. That's going to be another kill over for How to Win 101 in retaliation.
Oh my gosh, Rush is so...
Oh, Scrubberduck, you're dead. Oh, that turret got warmed up, heated up, and actually looks like late September might pick up a triple here.
Very nice.
Ooh, boy. September is certainly still a threat the Bare Naked Laners need to consider.
Oh, Energy Rush, run away. Oh, he's going cacaw. Access Slayers might be caught out a little bit. Fior's pretty strong still.
Shadow Dash was just used by XX Slayers MMA, so now it's the Ninja versus the French lady. Who can run faster? It's a fat, tanky Ninja, remind you, so I'm not sure if the tank is going to be able to outrun, but he does run far enough to get back under turret.
Yeah, and much like most Japanese versus European matchups.
Whoa, 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 whoa.
Yeah, that's...
Awesome Dragtail, careful now. That is political.
I was going LCS on that. I don't know where you're going.
Non-esports waters, you're treading distance.
It wasn't about NA, so we're okay.
NA greatest race.
Anyways, looks like a little rotation. A lot of minions built up in the bot lane. Access Slayers MMA is gonna defend that, but it looks like they're just actually gonna back off, really respecting the fact that they don't have a lot of vision on the map and don't see anyone besides Lucian and Braum. Don't want to risk the Quinn coming out of nowhere as well as the Syndra just catch them out yet again, that they have been doing all game.
Those Ravens, but they're still cashing out.
Yeah.
Oh boy, Dimmerx, you are in such big trouble. Has both summoners available. He doesn't even get the time to use them. Yumi Big Rex gonna flip over Energy Rush, but he dodges away from the laser, which means there is not enough damage for any member of TSA to kill him.
Yeah, luckily one less ball was out on the field, so Volber survives by the skin of his neck.
And that's crazy because Yumi Big Mac was the one who flipped Rush. He was trying to counter that engage. Oh boy.
Yeah, meanwhile, the bot lane is being pushed in very hard by How to Win at Nexus Slayers. They're very well positioned, and it looks like Energy Rush is just gonna look to zone.
Energy Rush though, too greedy. That's two-man stun though for Mr. Coolpants. Beautifully done. However, the members of his team were working on the turret, so no kills over. The culling might be enough to pick it up. Yes, it is. That is a shutdown. So How to Win 101, who does pick up the kill onto the victor, and a two-man stun, a three-man stun, I want to say, for Mr. Coolpants. Holy cow, his Syndra has been so good this game.
Yeah, 11, 2, and 4, it's definitely showing, especially now that he has the Roa and Zonias. He's going to have the stats that he's going to need to stay alive. Crimson Cat.
Oh boy, How to Win 101. He doesn't have flash, he doesn't have heal, and he just got chilled. Don't know what he's doing there, but that's going to be the shutdown onto, unfortunately, Dimmerx.
Well, it's global gold now anyways, so we'll have to see. They're actually going to lose a mid in him for it. They might not be able to rotate over in time.
Oh boy, another fantastic stun by Mr. Coolpants, but it looks like the members of TSA want to engage on this one. Only 3 members of the Bare Naked Laners here. Can they kite this fight back? Mr. Coolpants going to pop his Zonias, but he's so incredibly low. That is going to be the shutdown. Crimson Cat gets a double kill. Crimson Cat looking for the triple kill. Can he get it? I'm not entirely sure, but he's doing a huge amount of damage to the members of the Bare Naked Laners. The exhaust onto Rush, and that's going to be the kill for late September. They have picked up 4 kills so far, looking for the ace. Slayers is going to get stunned up, but he is very, very tanky. Late September still going for the turret dive, though, but he is not going to get enough. Still a 4 for 2 in favor of TSA there. They are looking to take down this turret, and they might have just found their way back into this game. That's a huge swing of gold, and holy crap, late September, that was risky.
Unfortunately, Thunderlords didn't proc on that, so he didn't go down for that.
Oh, could you imagine if Thunderlords procced off culling? God, that would be horrible.
I think it does.
Does it really?
I think so, because every shot counts as a attack.
Does it really?
Yeah, his Thunderlords just came up. So he definitely would have been dead.
Wait,
Thunderlord might actually get caught out.
No. I don't think culling. I'm pretty sure culling doesn't proc Thunderlord.
Well, we'll make sure to submit a ticket for it or try it out in customs. But
yeah.
Unfortunately, in that last fight, Energy Rush was just toppling and just a little too far out of position where his team got caught out. they didn't suffer too much, but that's definitely an advantage that they didn't want to give over to the other team as they start this dragon.
Oh, I'm hearing from chat, it actually does spark that lower. That's interesting, as you do see the bare naked laners securing the second dragon of the game, so 15% bonus damage onto structures such as turrets or inhibitors that Yumi Big Mac the focus of energy rush. Oh, what a throw though into the gravity field, but late September is gonna get stunned up now. Yumi Big Mac in very, very precarious situation, but Energy Rush is gonna get jumped on again. Crimson Cat on his killing spree. You can't just go in and try to go for a 1v1 trade. Energy Rush cannot engage as the freaking Coin Man. Oh, he's so squishy.
Yeah, unfortunately, communication wasn't there from Exo Slayer MMA. He probably could have saved him. He does have the second level of his ultimate available, so may have been just enough to save him. But a jungle for jungle trade, and unfortunately, that's been missing a lot of damage being put back.
Oh boy, Mr. Coolpants taking a huge amount of damage from the Victor Burst. The ultimate coming in, Stand United, I'd say, is going to be enough, but it's not. Mr. Coolpants gets slain by the flash in from late September, and a huge gravity well is going to get Scrubber Ducked as we saw the Shadow dash away from the Shen. Late September says, you know what, Scrubber Duck, I don't even care about you. I'm looking for your carries. And now another team fight won by the members of TSA. They are still behind in terms of gold, but the kill count is actually very, very close, and they are looking to take down this middle inner turret. XX Slayer's MMA entirely alone now, no way to defend it, but he does have Rush and How to Win 101 nearby, so maybe we might see a fight. However, it would be a 3v5. Members of TSA are looking to take down this inhib turret. It will go down. Tristana shredding that turret so quickly. They don't even need that second dragon buff. They can take the turrets and inhibs down without help. The Monsoon from Dimmerex will just ensure that the rest of the team can work on the inhib for free. And TSA 30 minutes in. At this point, I feel like they had already won game number 1, and it might go their favor game number 2. But that's only one inhibitor so far, and Bare Naked Laners technically still have the gold lead. Let's see how they can reply.
Yeah, they definitely still have the ability to come back in this game, but just a lot of miscommunication of people being too far split up and just a little unorganized, and just Team Solation being able to, pick up on that.
Oh my goodness, it's another Bare Naked Laners Baron call. They did it once again on Vision. However, the nice thing is Yumi Big Mac is not even close.
Victor does have ult.
Bare Naked Laners taking this down very quickly, but How to Win and XX Players MMA and Scrubber Duck all at half HP. That is going to be the shutdown onto Victor. Can Fior pick up any kills here? The red team will secure the Baron, but will they be able to get out alive? I'm not sure. That is going to be one kill in favor of TSA, while Mr. Coolpants zonies himself so they can get the kill onto Crimson Cat. I think this is going to be a very clean fight for Bare Naked Laners. That's a double kill to How to Win 101, and they have secured kills onto 4 members.
Go left, Quinn.
4 members. I don't think Quinn would be able to pick up Tristana here.
No.
But a very nice team fight, because Bare Naked Laners had the goal lead for the entire game, but kept throwing due to greed. Now, they went for a risky Baron call, but they secured it, and they won the team fight afterwards. So they, once again, have a fairly strong goal lead.
Yeah, and they're actually making a really nice decision, deciding to push the middle inhib where the supers are, to try and keep them out of their base. One of those things that when you lose an inhib, it's actually more efficient to try and push against that lane, so you don't have, you really are controlling the lane the supers are coming out of. And with the Baron buff, they're able to pick up a tower in the mid lane, as well as looking like they're going to pick up one in the top as well.
Rotation now into the top lane, where there is no inhibitor down and a huge minion wave. So the Bare Naked Laners stretching the gold lead out now 32 minutes, and they have about an 8,000 gold lead. It's a fairly difference, however, as always, once you get to 6 items, the gold doesn't really matter, and the longer the game goes on, the proportion matters less. So 8,000 gold at like 20 minutes is probably GG. 8,000 gold at 32 minutes, TSA might still be able to come back.
Yeah, we'll have to see. Victor will have a lot of ways to clear that minion wave with all the damage he's building. It looks like he's going to go for the 3rd item's Void Staff again to keep doing that raw damage that he's been doing the entire game. As
there might be Rabadons too.
Possibly. He has the Spellbook. He has the Amp Tome and the Blasting One. He needs to go for that Void Staff 3rd item, so we'll have to see. Anyone in chat want to place bets, go ahead. But right now we have a push on the inhib turret.
It's an Imp turret is taken very, very low very quickly. They don't even need Tristan to get their siege on. But the thing is, it is backed up by the wave clear from Victor and Triss, plus the super minions. So
And that's actually Syndra using her ult onto the Volibear.
yeah, not really sure I agree with that, but Mr. Coolpants has Burl and Nomicon. He's probably at, what, 30, 25% CDR? So the cooldown is fairly low.
No, they don't have too much
long range
time
stuns. He lands a
on-
stun on late September, but he's going to get caught out. The zone is instantly popped. Will Mr. Coolpants go down? It looks like Yumi Big Mac is the first to fall in this fight, and a very large knockup, and Mpan picks up a kill onto Rush. XX Slayers looking for late September, but TSA are still managing to win team fights so far behind in terms of gold. The flash in for late September, not going to pick up anything as he only landed his
so
laser
low.
onto Shen.
Yeah, and a really nice use of the Zonias by Mr. Coolpants, avoiding all of that burst coming out from Team Solo Asian.
Oh, Crimson Cat gets stunned, but the flash from Mr. Coolpants does nothing! He didn't have his ultimate. He did! He didn't have
It just came up.
Oh man, and he had Ignite, but he didn't use that either.
Now they are making a run for it.
Scrubber Duck now is going to get caught out by Mpan. Mpan's going to be able to consistently catch up to Scrubber Duck with his resetting Q. That's going to be the slow. Isn't able to riposte the stun. Might still go in though. Mr. Coolpants ultimate there doing barely no damage because Aegis has been completed by
Yeah, and they're gonna have to
Dimmer X.
give up
Actually,
this dragon.
let's take a look at the items Dimmer X has. Aegis and Locket. So it looks like the Aura obviously doesn't stack, but Dimmer X probably looking to build Banner next. That's an interesting item build.
It is. But one thing to note though, this is the first dragon for the blue team, and it's actually at this point in the game a very strong objective to take. It gives you that increased damage and ability power when you take that first one, and later in this game, once you have your items built up, it's gonna mean a lot more.
Yeah, and the thing is, as far as gold is concerned, the carries actually have a decent amount of gold. 12,000 gold to every carry on the side of TSA. So they're fairly strong and they're fairly spread out. You know, when you compare it to like 16,000 or 13,000 of the other members. Oh, hold on. Mpan is going to get engaged on by Rush. The members of BNL are enclosing around him, and I'm pretty sure Mpan is donezo. So what's that going to mean, though, for the rest of this game?
Very nice taunt.
Very long death timer. Now, there's no way Mpan gets away here. This is now a 60-second death timer, and the members of the Bare Naked Laners pick up an inhibitor.
Volibear and Triss are still in bot lane. They have a chance to push this in. Now they're gonna have to watch out because Victor does have that Rabadons, as you said he was building earlier, as well as that Crystal Scepter, and he's gonna be able to clear those waves very fast. So maybe they're gonna have to get something going.
This is still rough. 30 seconds till Mpan is up. Late September gets jumped over. Rush is over the wall. Rush, what have you done? The Stand United going to come out from the Shen is actually going to provide a lot of protection, but not going to be enough as Rush is taken down by Late September. Now XX Slayers, MMA, and BNL are diving under turret, but that is exactly where TSA wants to fight them. The shutdown as Crimson Cat picks up the kill onto How to Win, and he jumps in, but Crimson Cat does not go down the gravity field. The shutdown for Late September. And another team fight in favor of TSA. This is the first team fight they have won in quite some time, and with an inhib exposed, could this even be the game?
Yeah, this might be the game. They're gonna try and push this in. Volibear is still tanky enough, as well as that Janna shield, to try and take these Nexus towers, as well as this open inhib. Braum is the only one alive.
26 to rush spawns, and Brahm's still alive, like you said. There is a fairly big minion wave for TSA, and they have a Tristana. They will very surely try and end the game right here and right now. The first Nexus turret is going to go down. Energy Rush is up in 3. He's up in 2. He's up in 1. Can the members of BNL fight back, or will this be a 2-0 victory in favor of Team Single Asian? It will be. Team Single Asian is your third place victor in the Fall 2015 UVA LCS split.